Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It is Well Read Beard. It's a damn fine day to talk about a book, and today we are here for a book review. And we're going to talk about A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Now, no, I do not think I am smart enough or well read enough, even though I call myself Well Read Beard, to give you anything about this book that you necessarily don't know. But I'm just again started out doing this really just to record my thoughts so that I'm not sitting here 10 years from now and thinking about A Christmas Carol and I really don't remember if I liked it or what I thought about it, and well, I got to reread it again because to be honest with you, that's where I'm sitting with a lot of books here in my life. I'm at a point where I don't remember what I really thought about half the stuff I read early on. But anyway, so this edition, I got it at Five Below. Never bought a book at Five Below before. I thought it was just a cool, cheap try at like a gold leaf, somewhat cloth bound. I don't think it's really cloth, but you know what I'm saying. Version of it, and but it is a facsimile of the first edition, is my understanding. And there's cool little facsimile handwritten stuff in here, like preface type stuff. The imagery in here is really really cool. Let me see if I can find it and show you. But and the overall text and just the reading experience for me was really cool. I mean, it's 150, 166 pages, small pages, but reads very, very quickly. I enjoy this book. I mean, I really like this book. Probably 4 stars. I read a bunch of classics years and years ago. Probably more like 15, 16 years ago. I was trying to do the BBC's Top 100, and I read like I don't know. I think I got through maybe 40, 45 of those 100. I believe this was one of them. I mean, as far as classics go, very easily consumable. It's a Christmas ghost story. I mean, it's really kind of right up my alley. The language is, I mean, it's not modern. It's not modern day language, but I didn't really feel that it was hard to understand as I might have thought from previous readings. I mean, I didn't really remember that, but I'm just saying I remember thinking of Dickens is not easy. I mean, it's not as easy as like say Steinbeck or Faulkner or whatever. But I had no problem with this as far as that goes, as far as the language, and so yeah, I mean, briefly because I'm not going to go too much into the story because I feel like you know about it. I mean, Ebenezer Scrooge is a miserly old man, pinches every penny, and he is visited by four spirits if you count the ghost of his previous business associate, previous business partner, Jacob Marley, and then the ghost of Christmas past, present, and to come, basically. And so all this happens in one night, and he's basically given a chance to change his miserly evil ways and prevent some things that he's seen from the ghost of Christmas yet to come, prevent some of those things from actually coming to pass. So you know ultimately the story is he lives a very lonely solitary life, which is not a turn off for me at all. I'm kidding, not really. I mean, I'm not a people person. But at Christmas I do tend to um be more giving and more I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna have a conversation with you, but if I'm eating at the Waffle House and I see, a young husband and wife eating with their 3 kids, now don't get me wrong, some people might be offended by this, but I will pay for their meal and then leave, before because you never know. I mean, some people will be really, oh, that's awesome, thank you, and some people be like, I didn't need your help, so whatever. It is what it is. I have been known to do that, so uh, you know, I'm not as much bah humbug as Ebenezer Scrooge is. But yeah, so the gist is we have Scrooge, and he has some family. Like, he is an uncle. He has a nephew who comes to his place of business and invites him to Christmas every year, and he never goes. And that's one of the places that he visits with these ghosts, to see his family, what's left of his family, and how they celebrate, and this and that. And the other aspect is Bob Cratchit, who is Scrooge's employee, he's his clerk, or whatever. And Scrooge is so miserly that he won't even, let him put more coal on the fire. It's freezing in the office. He's wrapped in this comforter, this bed comforter, because he can't afford a coat that's, big enough to keep him warm. And so we go home to his family and see how he lives. And he's got 87 kids. No, I'm kidding, it's not 87, but it's a lot of kids. And of course, one of them is Tiny Tim, who is suffering from some sort of medical illness that causes him to be small of stature, and and all this. And the book uses the word crippled, but he has a crutch. And or Merry Christmas, God bless us each and every one, or whatever it is he says. But and of course that tugs on Scrooge's heartstrings as well. Now, so he's got the opportunity to change. He's got the opportunity to change his ways. And he wakes up on Christmas morning. He realizes that the things that the ghost of Christmas yet to come has shown him have not happened yet, and he has time to act. And so he's going to give and celebrate and visit with family, and take care of his employee from here on out. And that's kind of what we're left with. One thing I found really, really cool about doing some light research about this book is that it was published on December 19th of 1843, and it sold out by the first printing sold out by Christmas Eve. Now, I found that kind of cool. Like, imagine, I mean, my world revolves around books, but imagine living, and I do this a lot, and maybe it's just because I'm, got my midlife thing going on. But I imagine often living in a society where books were the entertainment, and that was, I mean, if you could read, you did read for fun, because that was, there was no TV or internet. And so I often fantasize about that. But I was just thinking about how cool that would be, that, it had to be the event, it had to be the story around town, that this Christmas Carol had been published December 19th, and I must have a copy, and I must read it. I want to read this book before Christmas of 1843, so I'm I can talk about it, and I can give my thoughts on it. I guess it was pretty widely critically accepted, acclaimed, so to speak. And yeah, and then before the end of 1844, it went through 13 other editions. Is loosely. Now, I'm not exact necessarily. I'm just telling you what I remember from my brief research. And another thing is that, a major theme here is poverty, and how it affected children's in this. Now, I don't know all about the English uh, periods. I do know that this is pre-Victorian, post-Victorian. It is Victorian-ish is this time. And Charles Dickens had visited like a tin mine where the working conditions for children was just absolutely horrible. And he'd visited another place that it was something ragged school, is what it was, like a rat. So you made you think of, ragged clothing, right? And it made you think of like an orphanage, some sort of an institute for forgotten children, for poor children, for something along those lines. And he'd visited these two places, and I guess it tugged on his heartstrings or whatever, and kind of somewhat inspired him to write this. But yeah, I mean, enjoyable experience, short, classic. I mean, that you can get through fairly easily. Great book to read, of course, at this time of year. So Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm 4 stars on A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This is a cool little addition. If you have a Five Below anywhere near you, I mean, it's kind of cool that it is a facsimile of the true first edition. So this is Well Red Beard. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.